So just like a little bit about me, I'm a game developer. Shout out to John, who gave like a nice intro to game development yesterday. Um, I've been a game developer for around 3 years, and I work at a mobile game studio in Berlin right now. And another fun fact is that I still work in Objective-C all day, every day, and I actually kind of like it, so probably going to get stuff thrown at me later. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, so what we're gonna do today is like, why did I choose ARKit? Like, do I use it in my games? No, not at all. And then how does it work? And like a little bit of a background, like a high-level background about how most augmented reality algorithms work. And then we'll go into like actually using ARKit. There will be like hopefully a really nice demo if like the demo gods are really nice to me today. And I'll also tell you a little bit about some of the lessons I learned when working with ARKit, and especially testing ARKit and like the app that I'll demo for you. So why ARKit? This year I was like lucky enough to go to WWDC. My company was like lucky enough to pay a shitload of money for me to travel to San Jose. And I was like super excited about the keynote. And then I was like sitting in the keynote, and it was like super boring because it's like a marketing pitch. And then they announced like ARKit. I was like, oh, this is really cool. So like then I was happy. But yeah, actually ARKit is like pretty cool, and like one step like that Apple's doing to help us as developers create augmented reality experiences for our users. So just for people who might not know what augmented reality is, it's a way for you to put virtual objects in your real world that you view through your camera lens. So virtual objects being like this creature thing, kind of looks like from Monsters, Inc., but it's not. And then the rest of that is like actually the real world, like your living room. Yeah. So how does like augmented reality work, and specifically how does ARKit work? So Apple uses like a pretty popular algorithm for augmented reality. So there's these things called feature points, and they're not really descriptive in the documentation of like what determines or like what is a feature point, what could be a feature point. But the fact is that something in the image that Apple determines is like super cool becomes a feature point. And then through the video frames, they track that feature point. And based on the information that they get from tracking the feature points between video frames, plus like other information from your phone, like accelerometer, like the motion sensor, stuff like that, they're able to change the way that your virtual objects look in the real world based on how you move your camera. Okay, but like feature points, that's like super weird, and like, what is that? So here's like a really cute GIF of my dog running through the office. And let's just imagine that Apple thinks that my dog is like really interesting, and it decides that he's a feature point. So like, this is what it looks like tracking my dog through different video frames. Like, I'm pretty sure like no AR algorithm would ever determine that my dog is like a feature point, but this is just like a high-level example. So yeah, with those feature points, you are able to place or anchor an item, a virtual object, in your real world. So this is like just a placeholder thing, and this is a screenshot from the Apple's sample app that you can download from the developer portal. So now we will place a candle there, and then based on like the algorithm and feature points and stuff, if we move the camera, like the phone in this case, yeah, the candle still looks like it's sitting on the table in the same spot, and now we see the little like finger holder thing as well. Yeah. Okay, but like, how do you get started building your own ARKit app? Well, like Xcode has a template for that. And then, so whenever you select augmented reality app, you actually have a choice of, also thanks to John, because he explained this already, like between using SpriteKit and SceneKit. So SpriteKit is Apple's 2D game development engine, and SceneKit is Apple's 3D development engine. And in this example, we will use SceneKit because that's way cooler with like 3D objects and you can move around and stuff. And what does this sample app give you besides setting up all of your like game environment stuff and setting up your base scene view and everything? The ARKit part is it sets up a session config for you. And there's like not really anything special about it. It's just that it sets up some configuration for you and you can set some properties on this. And then you just run like the ARKit session with this config. But that's super boring and gets you like absolutely nothing. I mean, like besides like you can see like a video feed through your camera. But if you really want to use like some powers of ARKit, then you can turn on plane detection, which right now the only kind of plane detection that is supported in ARKit is horizontal. So like flat surfaces like the floor. And then so what's important is that you want to implement some delegate methods if you actually want to react to the fact that you've detected a plane. So that you can actually add objects to the virtual scene. So the important one, or like one is whenever it detects a plane, it will call back and say like, hey, do you have a node for this plane that I detected? And so basically in this method, you create a scene node and then you say, hey, put that there on the anchor. And then the next one is Apple will continuously like reevaluate as you pan your phone around on the floor. You'll see it in the demo. As you pan your phone around, it actually can modify the information about the plane that it's detected. So like as I pan around, it will make the plane bigger and bigger. And so with that information, it calls back this delegate method did update so that you're able to actually modify the size of whatever object you've placed in the virtual world. Yeah. And then, of course, just planes is like also really boring. So obviously you can just treat the AR scene as though it's like any game scene. So you can just add scene nodes or actors to the scene. And so that's just like as simple as adding, yeah. And then if you give them an AR anchor, which is basically like you say, hey, I want this object to be attached to this feature point so that when you pan the camera around, it adjusts the way you see the virtual object in the real world. Then ARKit actually handles all of the like changing the visualizations of that thing for you depending on like whatever angle you're on or how far away you are. Okay, and now here's the demo and I like really hope it works. Oh, and before like I show the demo, like it's like super developer app, like it has like just switches and stuff. Important thing is there's like a switch to turn on and off feature points, which is just like a debug option on the ARKit scene view. And so like I will have them on in the beginning and then I'll switch them off. And then there's a switch to enable or disable plane detection. And then there's a switch to enable a very experimental feature, which is face detection, which I could show you if someone volunteers for me to use their face. Because you can't use the front-facing camera for ARKit. So it will like go pretty fast if like the floor is really nice to me and like it can detect it. So just wanted to like explain like some parts of the interface. Okay, is that like kind of big enough? Should I? Can you? Oh my God, you can. And that's my dog again. like it's just like a developer version of an app. Okay. But okay, now we have like some feature point. Don't be fooled by the lighting on the floor. But now you see some like yellow dots popping up. Okay. Yay, so I'm putting a hardwood floor over this lovely, I don't know what that is, tile floor. So as the anchors are getting updated, I'm like adjusting the size. Oh, and then like, oh, they grew together. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then in terms of like adding objects to the scene, like I just have some like cardboard boxes. And like because I'm using SceneKit, I get all of the like physics and gravity and collision detection kind of for free. Like you have to enable it and like tell it how heavy objects are and stuff like that. But then like one of my favorite parts is actually like making my friends test this in the middle of the office and be like, oh no, look, you can inspect the box like really close. And then they're like, oh shit. Something happened there. My plane went away. Yeah, Earth went away. But yeah, you can, so now this plane looks a little weird. Okay, if someone wants to volunteer their face, I can like enable the face detection because I was like pretty, okay. Just as a background, so what I wanted to do was use the Vision API to try to like mimic what you could do with the iPhone 10 because technically it's supported in the Vision framework to actually detect your face landmarks, and they also have an API for you to be able to track detected objects between frames. Unfortunately, like the face detection and the landmark detection is not one of those detected objects that you can track between video frames because the actual face landmark detection is like a pretty expensive operation. So whenever I enable it on your face, it will it will be like a beautiful image that shows up. Is it gonna hurt? It will not hurt. It will be a beautiful image that shows up, and then you'll see like exactly how like computationally expensive it is because basically like the video feed will just like completely stop. So like my goal is to like rate limit this eventually, but I wasn't able to do that before this. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, actually, so you have some boxes on you right now. So that's also a flaw, maybe. But like I have this nice refresh button, so everything went away. Okay, like I probably should have. Yay, he has a face. And now like you can see actually it is so the image is actually moving, just the video frame is not, which is funny. So anyway, that's like a work in progress, like because everyone wants to implement their own Snapchat filters, right? I think. Okay. Thank you for letting me use your face. And now I'll just share some lessons that I learned while working with ARKit. Some of them I wish someone had told me, so if you start to work with ARKit, I hope this helps you somewhat. Man, lighting is so important. Apple says this like in the documentation, and you think like, oh, whatever, like it's dark outside, I'm working in my living room in my flat, everything's fine, I have a light there. No, it does not work. Like I had to go in like the most brightly lit room of my flat, which is the one that doesn't have any fancy lighting at all, which is the entryway of my flat, sitting on the floor, like detecting planes and stuff. Also, like, for instance, whenever I tried yesterday, it did not work on this floor for some reason. So like carpet's not as good, hardwood floor works okay. This floor is actually pretty good. Also, whenever you think about Adding virtual objects to the ARKit space, like without having any pre-knowledge about an anchor point that you want to use in the ARKit space, you have to remember to like kind of transform it. So like if you want to just add an object wherever the user touches, yeah, you kind of have to convert that from like UI view space, because like wherever the touch coordinate is, into like projected 3D space. So just like kind of remember that. Yeah, it's actually really sad that only horizontal planes are detected, but given that it was an enum, if you noticed, hopefully like something else is coming. And of course, like iPhone 10 actually has APIs for like face detection and stuff like that, which is why I like wanted to try it, because Vision Framework supports this already, but like let's see. Yeah, as we can see how like the floor ended up on him after like reopening the app. Like it's maybe still not the best, but like as Apple has like the new processors out, like specifically for this like machine learning-y tasks, like I have hopes that they will like really improve. Okay, this is like reading all the documentation and like all of the Stack Overflow and everything. This is the best quote I have found, and it's from the Apple docs. World tracking, which is like the thing that ARKit does, this is like the feature point tracking between video frames thing. World tracking is an inexact science. This process can often produce impressive accuracy, leading to realistic AR experiences, which makes no sense. Because logic, I don't know. But that was about ARKit, and if you have questions, like let me know. This is my dog who's like super grumpy after I like put a virtual candle on his world. And you can find the sample code for the demo on my GitHub, and if you're interested in the facial detection stuff, then it's in a branch, so it's not in master. The branch is called face detection. And so if you're interested in helping out and making that work, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's it.